Well, welcome back to Effective Black Parenting Program. Today we are on lesson 3, which is about children's abilities. Basically, this lesson talks a little bit about understanding our children's abilities because, of course, if we have multiple children, they all have developmental skills at different levels, of course, with different ages. So we're going to take a small look at that. And then we also going to think a little bit about how our children's abilities tie in with making appropriate family rules, as well as how well we can understand them and how well we can reason and actually get cooperation from them at that specific stage or that specific ability they have. So with that in mind, we ask ourselves, one, were you ever given a task or role to do that you couldn't achieve? So was there ever a time, and it could be from anywhere, it could be from now, back when you were in high school, or even if you remember your taller years, were you ever, given a task that you just felt like you couldn't do? And I know it takes a minute to think about because we're pulling it back from our memories. So I am going to let y'all get a few minutes to think about that. And of course, it's going to be the same question, but geared towards our children. Have we ever given our child or our children a task or role that they couldn't carry out? So you guys can answer either one. I'm trying to think too.
I don't mind kicking it off. I feel like a task, now I'm taking it back some years and years and years, but I feel like I should not have been doing dishes at 7. Like, I feel like that's a bit much. Like, looking back at it, like I had to use a stool, like I had water running down my elbows. I had like a rash develop right here because it was just so much dishwater. Like, that was my like chore. And I don't know if I would trust my 7-year-old to make sure that the dishes was clean, pots, pans, everything. Like, that's a lot for a child, of course, that was way back in 1802. Times have changed now. Like, I don't know anybody that like makes their even like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old do dishes, I feel like that is like something like more reserved for teens. But when I was coming up, I was definitely on dish detail early on dish detail. So, and then it just kind of seems like you don't, you're too short. You're not getting it right. The dishes, you don't really have a system. The water, you can't make the water too hot. Like you really need some good hot water to hand wash dishes. And at 7, your hands really can't take the heat of hot water. So I don't know. I just feel like I love my parents and I know that they did the best that they could, but I feel like that may have been a bit much for a 7-year-old.
Okay, I feel it. But were you able to accomplish that specific role, or I don't want to say goal, but task?
It took years. It took years. And did I have to rewash dishes that wasn't clean? Yes. Did I spend hours in that kitchen? Yes. Am I an expert dishwasher now? Yes. So, I mean,
I'm pro.
Not the first few times. So the first few times, the first, few months, I'm pretty sure that the task was not done to the highest standard that it could have been done. But I mean, eventually, over time, as I got older and as my abilities did develop, I was able to, get on the right track and do them how they're supposed to be done.
Okay. I definitely see that. Like you were saying, based on your abilities, 7-year-old Jen. One, for sure, being able to stand on that step stool, being able to reach it is another, I guess, could be a challenge for sure. And, we also think, children like to play around. So basically being that specific age, you playing around, you end up falling and slipping and hurting yourself. So that can definitely be a problem. But hey, I do have to say, at least your parents, felt that you were independent enough to take on that task. So that's pretty cool. But at least you got the job done, so that's good. But that your parents thought you were able to accomplish that task, which you did, which was pretty good. But looking back at it, it's pretty cool how you can reflect and really think about, would I really give my child this task to do in the near future? So that is a good one. I have to. So, okay, my parents, they basically tried to have us do lawn work. And let me tell y'all, yes, we're in high school, so that's understandable, but it's only girls in the house, y'all. Legit only girls. All girls. And of course, stepdad is in the picture, but he tried to be like, you guys need to go out there and mow that lawn. Huh? Mow the lawn? It's how you do that. And so definitely it was attempted by, of course, the oldest here. I want to say I was probably like 16, and y'all, I was scared out of my mind. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing. But he tried to go over the steps, but still it just did not like catch on. So after that, I definitely felt like I didn't accomplish obviously what they asked me, but I don't know, it just made me feel like, well, hey, boys can do it. Why can't I do it? But I honestly gave up at that moment. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, you know what? I think it's just better that we get somebody to come do this. So that definitely was a task. And I don't know, as I think about it, if I would have pushed myself and actually, been a little more consistent, and the more you do something, you get it, you're able to fulfill that specific task. I feel like I would have definitely been able to to carry it out. But I'm not gonna lie, I definitely was that one was like, I think boys need to handle this, and this is the only kind of person who should be put up for this job. So, but that was my experience. Now, let me tell y'all. So my child, I'm gonna talk about my 4-year-old. So basically, a task that I gave him to do was basically kind of going on to Jen's, was basically help me put up the dishes, but he had to reach the taller cabinets with some of the dishes. So so basically I had him have a stool and basically get on the stool, but as I was having him do that and use the stool, he was like, okay, well, I can't really get to the top one, so I'm gonna try to stand on the counter. Y'all. So he did stand on the counter. I'm not gonna lie, he did achieve actually putting the cup or the plate, I forgot what it was, to the tallest of the cabinets, but it was the getting down factor. So he couldn't see where his footing was, and he done slipped, and the little stool he was on tipped over, and he fell, and it was a big mess. And I felt so bad. He was crying, but I realized, like, there is some things I need to, have for either myself, but of course have for him as he gets older. Obviously, he's not that tall enough. Yes, he can definitely get the job done, but really looking at that specific task I gave him probably wasn't the best. And it came out with him falling. So I did, of course he was okay after the fact, but even little things like that, giving our children small tasks to do and to carry out, sometimes they might feel like, basically based on that task we give them, it might be a little too much for them. So it's definitely important that we are being aware and make sure that when we do give them specific tasks, they are actually able to carry out that task. So and eventually they feel good about completing that task, and we're not putting too much on them that they can't hold. So that was my little story when it came to that, putting too much on my kiddo. But of course, everything is a learning experience. I feel like that's parenting overall. So we definitely evaluate ourselves and do better for the future.
One task that I've given my little one so far, his task is putting all his toys in the bathtub when he's ready to take a bath. So he has like a bin, and I put it like on the side of the tub, and I'm like, okay, put your toys in the tub. So he picks them up one by one, and he throws them in there. So that's like his preparation for bath time, and then when all the toys are out of the bucket, he like claps. He's so proud of himself. So I know it's
Yes.
not like a big task or anything like that. We
Yes.
started with trying to take clothes out of the dryer. So when I'm taking clothes out of the dryer, I'll give him a t-shirt and I say, okay, go put it on the bed. And we haven't yet made it to the bed, but we're working on it. So
Yes, definitely. And that's good. Even those positive small tasks we give them make them feel good. And he was so excited to celebrate that he cleaned up um after bath time. So that's good. But we definitely have to take a moment and make sure that we understand. Also, with our children's abilities, it comes with knowing their what is it called? Development stage as well. Because sometimes some kids might be a little delayed than others, and it's really important that us parents catch that so we can help them get to where they need to be. Um, so that's taking a good look at their development stages, their abilities, and the abilities can be, are they communicating? Are they able to understand emotions? And of course, as they get older, are they able to do things for themselves? And it could be, feeding themselves, getting dressed, little things like that. So it's definitely really important that us parents are definitely paying attention to our children and are making sure that we are giving them appropriate rules and tasks that they're actually able to carry out. Because honestly, after they carry it out, we give them praise, and praising them definitely makes them want to do it more often and continue it. So it's really important that, we're just definitely being aware, especially when it comes to our kiddos. But thank you, ladies, for sharing. And we'll have another lesson for you guys next week.